You're watching Morning at NTV. So, what's a boundless mind, and why young people? Why are they really taking charge? Because I mean, the future is in their hands. We have a population, the majority of them being so young. People are unemployed. So, how do we fix this? And the young people are saying, let's do it ourselves. Joining me is the CEO of Boundless Minds. That is Benjamin Requin-gee. Boundless Minds. Before we unpackage what that is, I'm sure the young people who are watching, or a parent who's saying, "Oh, I have someone sitting at home. Maybe they should really take part in this."
Yeah.
Let's just get to know you, because I like when young people do stuff to, change their world or change their situation. And before the break, I'm going to put him on the spot. He was saying, I now understand the position of the president when he doesn't want people to complain to him about everything and anything. Why is that? Is that because you're trying to make a difference yourself?
Yes, but I also think because there's an opportunity in the challenges that we face as a country. So you find that I think of mentorship as basically teaching to learn and learning to teach, which means that there's no one that's too young or too old to mentor. And the reason why we think we prefer to have mentors that are not so old is because of the age group we are working with, we think that there are actual lessons to learn from people that you can relate to.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So I feel that whereas this unemployment challenge is big, there's also an opportunity for us to do something about it. So that's why...
less complaining, more doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just, before we get into boundaries, maybe understand who you are. And before we get into why you ended up doing this magnificent project, who's Benjamin Requin-gee? Always a tough question to answer, trust me.
Who's Benjamin Requin-gee? I went to school. I did mass communication at Makerere University, and
you're home.
I have a master's degree in international relations. I was born in Fort Portal, and I am. What else? A
change maker. Come on. So you are the CEO of Boundless Minds, and I'll just tell the viewers why you're even here in the first place. Of course, you're making a difference. Great. But I was on Twitter, and first of all, I love the work of 40 days.
40.
Well, now it's 40-40, which are you still part of?
Yes, I am.
You're still part of. Yeah. Young people making a difference. And the reason why I think a lot of people have actually come on to support it, because it's good to see young people actually take charge.
Yes.
But I was looking at a tweet from Benjamin Requin-gee, and he was saying I love pancakes. Pani, okay, let's just say it like that.
Pani.
And when you tweeted that, and I went further and understood what actually you do, what Boundless Minds, I said, brilliant. Because just weeks back we're complaining about why don't young people find mentors? Why don't young people find some way of getting training? And instead of just sitting and waiting for someone to give you an opportunity, make it yourself. So I was lucky that I was having a conversation while that was happening. So where does Boundless Minds start from?
Boundless, in terms of actual work, we started, this is our second year. But the idea of Boundless started about 5 years ago. So when I was speaking to a Muzungu friend who told me that when she was 21 and she had been to 3 countries as part of her study project, and she was now here in Uganda. And I was shocked because at 21, I had never been anywhere. I was just a student. And she had all of this exposure, all of this work ethic, all of these ideas, and she had developed confidence and skill that would either help propel her into employment or start. She was actually running an enterprise in Uganda, in Rakai, and she was a student in an American university. So I started to think to myself, what does the equivalent of this lady look like for Uganda? If you're a 21-year-old Ugandan, what are you doing? You're probably at university, you have no skill. So this person has a 5-year head start on you. And I realized that that's very dangerous, because we live in a global world where the rest of the young people across the world are getting ahead of us, and we are never going to catch up if we don't do something about it.
I was about to ask you that mentality as well. Do you think we're more reserved to the fact that, you know, I mean, I'm Ugandan, I'm most likely going to operate on a Ugandan scale. I don't need to benchmark myself on someone like that.
So yes, there's that. But from having discussions with the guys under our mentorship program, the guys in Senior Six Pack, they always tell me, oh, until I joined this program, I didn't know that I needed to start now. I always thought that I have a lot of time on me. And I'm telling them, no, you don't have time, because you're in Senior Six Pack right now, and these years at university, 3 or 4, are going to run by so fast, and you're going to end up unemployed. You won't even tell what happened. So if you start now, that's the best you can do for yourself. So I started speaking to people about what we could do. So Boundless is not, it might be an idea that I originally had, but it has benefited a lot from speaking to people, from my experience volunteering, from my experience working in education and seeing the challenges that face where I used to work as head of recruitment, and we used to have university students applying when their CVs are not really good enough, when they write essays, they don't make sense, or they can't even write an essay. And I kept thinking, okay, I'm the head of recruitment here and working with university students, but these guys don't change when they're applying for jobs. So what can we do about it? But the other reason why we are doing Boundless is that you know that in 2015, Uganda was ranked by the Global Entrepreneurship Monitoring Organization, I think, I hope that I got the name right, as the most entrepreneurial country in the world. But that report also said that our entrepreneurship projects fail as fast as they start.
After the first birthday, if they even get there, the business don't go beyond.
So I thought that was dangerous. So there's a good thing there.
We are
starting businesses. But there's a reason why
sustainability.
They're not, there's a reason. So some of the reasons why they're not starting is things like capital and that we might not be able to help. But aspects of management, aspects of work ethic, aspects of networking and communication and all of those things, we can help. So that's why we have that university program that works especially on getting young university students to think about entrepreneurship. So that's really where Boundless started.
Okay, so you said so you have university, vacists, people in vacation, and then you have the university students.
Yes.
So these are two different classes.
Yes.
Paint a picture for me of what you would be telling or teaching those in Essex VAC versus what you're teaching or equipping with the ones who are at the university.
Okay. So our VAC program is more general.
Okay.
It just gets them to think. So when the VAC program, when you come into the VAC, first of all, we make them apply online. So there's nothing like, oh, this is my friend's sister.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I can't recommend someone to you.
They have to go online.
Okay.
And fill in an online application that we review. So they go online and apply. We require that you identify a community challenge where you stay and what you would do about it. Just that. And your motivation for wanting to join the program. Just that. So when you come in, we work with you. We keep sending you into the community. So you go, so we've made them meet their LCs, meet church leaders, meet local residents to find out, this is the problem I submitted to Boundless, but does it actually exist at in the community? So once you do problem verification, then we say, okay, so you have to develop a project out of your problem. Once you develop that project, you are required to work with the community and implement it. So we send you back. We don't go with you. You have to go to the community, find a local partner. So all we do is keep asking you questions until and then you have to and then help you. You draw a budget, you work on your communication, you work on your finances. So we will bring people to teach you all of these things. We will find people that are already good at this stuff, and they'll come in and teach you. And then once you are done with that, you develop an entrepreneurship project to fund your community project. Because we don't want you to go to your parents
and say, give me money.
And give me money. You have to raise that money on your own. And then you implement the project. So that's what the VAC program is about. The university program is different because there the emphasis is on the at national level.
Okay.
So you still identify our challenge
in the country.
Yes. So we ask, what are you passionate about? What motivates you? And in the area in which you're passionate, what challenges exist and how would you address them? So the university program works on the basis that somehow we all end up either as entrepreneurs or in business or in the corporate world or in civil society and policy work. So once you identify what challenge exists and what you do about it, then we work with you and identify your strengths, which of these 3 areas do you gravitate to most. So the university program has the placement aspect as well. So for VAC, we place with schools. We place our VAC students, we ask them to volunteer with a local school.
Okay, in their community.
Yeah, so you have to go to that school and volunteer to help support the teacher in organizing prefect elections, organizing sports days and stuff. Because there are also skills that you learn from there. With the university program, you don't volunteer with a school. We find placement for you, either with so if we realize that you're interested in like civil society, we will find placement for you with a civil society organization. If we realize that your interest is in like business and entrepreneurship, we'll find placement with either an SME or if you have an idea that you want to take on, we just recently discussed a partnership with an incubator for a business incubator for university students. So you will be able to go there. Or if we find that you gravitate more to the corporate world, we will find placement for you.
Great. And are companies open to you in terms of having a good network for you to place these young people?
Yes. So some of the companies that we've talked to,
they see the value.
Yeah, they see the value of it.
Why are others not seeing the value?
I don't know. I think it takes some time. But I think what's going to happen eventually is because companies also, I think, spend a lot of money on training interns. When they could just take our guys, because our guys already know how to do.
They're a step higher than
they are step higher. They have
intern.
a head start on. Like,
let me ask you specifically. I have 2 questions. When you speak about school, I'm worried if you're going to eventually reach the out-of-school youth, because those who, for some reason, have not been able to continue with school to certain levels, but can still do with certain skills, can still answer questions in their communities and find a solution. Do you intend to, if you haven't, eventually get to those? Are you getting to those?
Right now, I don't think.
Do you think that's something you'd eventually be able to do? Because a lot of youth policies now, people are always trying to include out-of-school youth, because we also have those numbers. People who are, for some reason, not in school, for one reason or the other, but still need some form of skills or training. But anyways, to answer why the community attachments, why do you feel the need to attach them to any community problem or any of the communities?
Because the problems that we face start at community level. So you cannot be a leader at national level. You can't be a CEO of a multinational. You can't be, you can't run an enterprise, a successful enterprise.
Without first looking around you.
Without understanding the challenges that exist around you and why they happen and how you can solve them. So that's why when the guys come in at VAC, we send them to the LC. We're not sending them to the president.
Are they open to that?
Yeah, well, they don't have
they
an
have
option.
No choice,
And they've found challenges. They go to their LCs chase them, they say, your young people, go away. But the assignment says that you have, and we do, it's funny that because you tell them when you go to your LC, because we know that you might, there's the problem of people wanting to do shortcuts. So we know that this young person might sit at home and record their sister or brother as the LC. So we ask them to have video, to use their phones.
I mean, it's a new world.
Yes. Use your phone to record your interview with
so
your
I'm actually
LC.
tasked to go meet my LC.
Yes, your
Okay,
LC, your church leader, 3 local residents about this problem.
Okay.
So when they come, they have to do a presentation and play. This is me interviewing the
If
LC.
you're a young person who's dodging the work, I don't think this is the place for you.
No,
but I know we're running out of time, but I'd just like to give you the floor just to speak about, as we wind up, you know, where someone can find you, who can come to you, and how they can find you.
Okay. So we are online because of the age group that we are working with, obviously. We are online as, so on Facebook, it's Boundless Minds Uganda. On Twitter, it's Boundless UG. Our website is www.boundless-minds.org. We share offices with 4040 on Sapolo Kagwa Road.
So it's the Essex Bacchists and
university students. So I think the best way for anyone to find us, because even when we run,
my producer says you've chased the farmers, but
I mean, and you spoke about the out of school youth. I think that strangely, when you read the unemployment reports, people who are in school are at higher risk of ending up unemployed than the ones that are not in school. And I know that there are so many other programs that are working with out of school youth, and maybe if we find justification, because the thing that I want to say is that Boundless is a research founded organization. We are very grounded in our research. Our training methods are grounded in research, so we spend a lot of time studying what are other people doing here and outside the country, and why. So the methods we are using for training are because we have done research on them.
And it works.
Yes. So if we find actual need to go and work with out of school youth, we will. But for now, the serious problem that needs addressing is with students in school. Because so 40,000 people, young people, graduate every single year from university.
With no guarantee of a job whatsoever.
And the economy can only make 9,000 jobs. So about 31,000 students have degrees they can't find.
Well done, Benjamin Requin-gee. So you said to me September is
Yes,
next
September is when we
class.
are taking the university class.
Okay, but in the meantime, go online and perhaps find them, interact, and get to know what Boundless Minds Uganda does, and then eventually you can see where you fit or someone you know fits. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you too.
Please come back when there's some milestones you can share with us.
Yes, thank you too.
That's it for Morning at 10 TV. Have a good weekend.
You're watching Morning at